Hi, this is Tracy, and welcome to the Woman Within You podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, this is not officially a season 2 episode. This is more like a bonus episode or bonus content that's exclusive to our listeners. So I'm just going to recap our second annual Women's Empowerment Brunch. It was absolutely amazing. And if you follow us on social media, you probably saw all of the pictures and some of the videos from the brunch. So this was the second one. I will say this to you. There's always growing pains. So when you do your first one, there may be things that you want to change, or there may be situations that you could have done better or improved. So for me, now that this is my second one, I realized that, well, let me back up a second. So the first one was really nice. We had 3 speakers and 3 performers. We had a person do a poetry. We had a person that danced. We had a recording artist, and we had 3 speakers. And the theme was mind, body, and soul. So this year, I wanted to do something a little bit differently. This year's theme was called The Journey to Purpose. And it was also the introduction of the Belinda D. Price Memorial Scholarship Fund, in honor of a woman who was really important to me and who taught me the importance of being a leader, striving for education, and also helping out the community. So this was going to be the first year that we were going to give out scholarships. A girlfriend of mine, Monique, who was also the host, which I might add, she did an amazing job as the host. Her energy was live. She's also a newly ordained minister, but she's just like an all-around fun person. And so she just brought all the energy. It was everything that I wanted and more. So I'm forever grateful to her for all her hard work and helping me with the scholarship fund, as well as her agreeing to MC the event. So let's talk about this year's event. The theme was called Journey to Purpose. And I wanted to do something a little bit different than I did last year. I wanted to take the attendees on a journey. I wanted them to go from a person that was just a teenager, just starting out, to a person that was headed towards retirement. I wanted people to see different levels of purpose, because every single person on this earth has a purpose. They have a plan for their life. God made us all with a plan for our lives. So I invited a dynamic young lady to open the show, who is a choreographer and has her own dance studio. So we had the girls come in and they did African dance into a beautiful song, and it was called Phoenix Rising. And you can catch that if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook. The video of the girls doing the dance is definitely on there, as well as our website, thewomanwithinyou.com. You can see videos and pictures as well. It started off as taking us on a journey, putting us in the right space, putting us in the right mood with this beautiful piece. It was athletic, it was inspiring, and the young girls did a really good job. They really did. Then we had a high school teenager, who wanted to talk about how she's trying to find purpose in high school and what prompted her to look for herself or to try to find herself at such a young age. And she took us with that. Then we had, and I'm not going to mention her name just because, but you can also see the videos once again on our social media pages. Then we had the founder of Mommy Slays talking about taking us on a journey from transitioning pain to purpose. She's had a difficult time with postpartum depression and having miscarriages. And she just talked about that experience. And she also talked about the fact that, one day she was passing a mirror and she didn't recognize herself. And I think that resonated with a lot of the people in the room, because sometimes we get caught up in being moms, and we get caught up in being wives, and we get caught up in our careers, that we forget about ourselves. It's like those things define us, and therefore we don't know who we are anymore. And it was funny because she said, I had a wig on, and how it was matted, and and it really had the ladies laughing, but it also had them searching for themselves and understanding that, what? Okay, I got lost in myself. I didn't know who I was. But you can pick yourself up and you can turn that pain, whatever it may be, into purpose. We then had our keynote speaker from Springfield, Massachusetts, Brenda's child, Dr. Latoya Bosworth. She talked about her journey to purpose and losing her parents and, not feeling like she belonged anywhere and looking for love. And it was just a beautiful thing. And finding your magic, finding your purpose within all of that. So she spoke as well. We had Brittany Pickle Johnson, which she's been a guest on the podcast a couple times, did a beautiful poem. And the thing that stuck out to me the most was that she talked about living in the Justin, and that weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And I think that really just hit home with the audience because it was powerful, and she did it very well. She was powerful, she was convincing, she was authentic, and I think they really enjoyed themselves. We then had Crystal Kelly, which was in addition to the brunch at a later date. I had met Crystal Kelly at a speakers convention, and we got to talking, and one thing led to another, and she was then on a panel. We did something called Her Story, and she was part of the Her Story section. My mother, who has since retired, was also part of the Her Story section, and she talked about how she found purpose at work, and how, you're not supposed to mix, work with spirituality or church and state, separation of church and state, but how she didn't care, that she would pray for people in a conference room, and she didn't care. No one bothered her because she would use her weapon of prayer. So they really appreciated that as well. We then gave out some awards. We gave out our Woman of the Year to Joelle Murchison. Thank you so much, Joelle. She talked about finding the little girl in you, finding who you used to be, and dreaming and remembering that little girl inside of you and going back to that. And she used the metaphor of what a Whitney Houston song, I believe the children are our future, teach them well and let them lead the way, because she wanted to just illustrate the fact that when we were younger, we had a lot of dreams, but life can get in the way and you can forget who you are. You can forget to bring out that little girl inside of you. So I think that resonated with the audience. I know it definitely resonated with me. We also gave an award to Sally Grossman. Sally Grossman is, I call her the modern day Gloria Steinem, because she's just like a woman that happens to be white. And there's no offense to anybody, but she really is an advocate to people of color. She's constantly on the front line. She's at our legislature testifying on behalf of marginalized people. She just really is a pioneer and an ally to people of color, especially Black women. So we definitely wanted to acknowledge her, and we appreciate her. But you know what happened? So we had so many people. And this is what I'm going to say about the increase in people. We had so many people, and I always thought that it was about the numbers, or like, well, how many people attended. But I think at this event, it made me think about how numbers don't matter. And it's about the impact that you make on the people that attended, because more sometimes isn't better. It isn't. It's about who do you have in the room? And I didn't know, 75 to 85% of the people that were in the room. But one of the things that I tried to do as the host was try to go greet people, make sure they were okay, give hugs, introduce myself, take pictures with people, because I feel like that's important. I don't ever really want the spotlight per se, but it's just like I wanted to make sure that people knew who I was. And I definitely felt the love in the room. The energy in the room was amazing. There was people from all walks of life. There was someone from the senator's office there. There was people from higher academia. There were doctors there. There were young people there. There was a few girls that were 10, 11 years old there. And, I keep hearing feedback that everyone had an amazing time. They got something out of it. They felt like they could do anything when they left the room. And that really, really set my soul on fire, because that's all I want to do. All I want to do is get people in the room, especially women, so that we can have these conversations that we are scared to have, and or talk about things and support each other and just be there for each other. There's always talk about hate and people not caring about each other. But I feel like in that room that day, the energy was amazing. Everybody was positive. Everybody was happy. The feeling is surreal. I don't even have a word to describe how I felt. Maybe overwhelmed. Overwhelmed was my word that I would use, because it was everything that I dreamed of and more. Of course, we had some people that decided that they wanted to come into the room that were guests at the hotel. And they said God had brought them in the room, which was interesting because they didn't have a ticket. But but I guess if God draws you to it, you must go there. But I just want to say that it doesn't matter where you are in life. You have purpose. There's a plan for you, and don't ever give up on your dreams, because no matter what, as long as you stay faithful and you work hard, you can achieve any dream or any goal that you have. And you have purpose. You got to find that purpose. And you don't just wake up one day like, oh, okay, I found my purpose. Nope, it doesn't work that way. It's a journey. And you have to be willing to go through the journey. And there are some bumps and bruises and growing pains while you're on your journey. I wish I could say it was just a straight path, but it's not. It was peaks and valleys. It was a roller coaster. I remember, I don't know how many times I said to myself, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this no more. But at the same time, it's like, I'm doing this to raise money for kids so they can go to college, so they can have opportunities that maybe some of us didn't have. So they don't have all the student loan debt that we have, so we can't even afford to stay afloat because we have so much student loan debt. We were able to give out 3 scholarships this year because I sold business ads. People donated to the scholarship fund. I mean, the generosity was unreal. So we had advertised that we were giving out 2 scholarships, but when we got together, because of the generosity of the people and people buying ads and sponsorship, I put all of that money towards the scholarship. I took 0 profit from this event. 0. Matter of fact, I'm negative. And I know my husband be thinking, what is she doing? But you know what? God has a plan for our lives. And I might be negative now, but I'm not always going to be negative. I'm not always going to be in the hole when I do these things. You know, they're stressful, yes. And you know, for me, I have a trust issue, so it's hard for me to let go sometimes and allow people to help me because I always feel like they're not going to come through or I'm going to have to pick up the pieces because that has been my experience. But I let go a little bit this year and I had about 7 or 8 volunteers this year. They all had on t-shirts with the logo. By the way, those t-shirts are on sale on the website. Shameless plug. But I allowed them to run the day so that I could actually sit back and enjoy the event. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. They did a phenomenal job making sure everything was running smoothly for the day. So that's a lesson for me, to let go a little bit more and to actually accept help. Some people offer to help all the time, but like they really don't come through. And from my experience, it is what it is. But this year, I think I found the right team. So I'm forever indebted to you all. I just want to say that we have so much going on in our lives, but you have to always make time for yourself. And that may be attending a women's empowerment event, putting $35 aside to attend an event so that you get fed into, because sometimes we need that. We need that getaway. You need that outlet. You need to meet people. You need to be able to network with people, especially if you're a business owner. So invest in yourself. Attend an event. It doesn't have to be my event. It could be any event, but just invest in yourself. And I'm just super excited for everything that the Woman Within You has coming up. It's super stressful for me, but at the same time, I know that I am on the right path. So this is just a bonus level episode where we recap the event. If you have any feedback for the event, you attended, I did do a Survey Monkey and I did get some feedback. I'll discuss that at another date because I also want to talk about, as a subject, what is constructive feedback versus what isn't. So with that said, I won't keep you long, but let's do our affirmation of the week. Our affirmation of the week will also be on thewomanwithinyou.com. You can view it there, but let's get started. Our affirmation of the week is as follows. I refuse to look back. I have so many great things happening for me. I am attracting great people into my life. I am happy with where I am and how much I've grown. You know what, ladies, and maybe some gentlemen too, celebrate the small moments. So you may not be exactly where you want to be, but as long as you're in pursuit of your purpose, celebrate yourself. If you wrote a chapter in the book that you've been dreaming to write, celebrate that. If you got out of bed this morning, celebrate that, because you know what? We have our good days and our bad days, but you have a purpose. And as long as you're on this journey and as long as you're alive, you can pursue that purpose. I thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next week. Thank you.